You're 18 years old, sitting in a dorm room that smells like cheap detergent and microwave noodles. It's 2:14 a.m. Your roommate is asleep. You're not. Your laptop screen is the only light in the room. Lines of code fill the display. Almost. Of them don't work. You refresh the app again, it crashes. Again, you rub your eyes. You should be studying for tomorrow's computer science exam. Instead, you're building something that might ruin your life, or change it forever. Level 1. The Dropout. You had an idea. A campus-based anonymous social platform. No popularity contests. No filters. Just raw interaction. Students sharing. Notes, confessions, opinions. You believed people wanted honesty more than perfection. The first week, 32 people download it. By the second week, 19 delete it. The ratings are brutal. Buggy, pointless. Why does this exist? You pretend it doesn't hurt, but it does. You skip classes to fix bugs. You stop going home on weekends. You stop telling your parents the truth. One night your father calls and asks how classes are going. You pause, then you lie. Good. A small campus meme page shares your app link. Downloads jump to 1,000 overnight. You don't sleep. You just stare at the dashboard. Active users climbing. Comments appearing. Strangers using something you built. That feeling? It's addictive. Mid-semester, you drop out. No dramatic speech. Just a withdrawal form and silence. Your father doesn't talk to you for months. You move into a friend's garage. Mattress on the floor. Folding table desk. Ramen dinners. You sell your gaming console to pay server bills. The app grows slowly. 5,000 users. 10,000. You rebuild it twice. Fix security flaws. Improve speed. You're exhausted, broke. Doubtful, but you're not quitting. Because for the first time in your life, you're building something real. The founder. At 22, investors start emailing you. You Google words like valuation and equity before meetings. You borrow a blazer that doesn't fit right. You walk into a glass building downtown trying not to look terrified. They ask about retention and scalability. You answer confidently, even when you're unsure. They offer $500,000 for 20% of your company. It sounds like infinite money. You sign. Suddenly, you're hiring employees, designers, developers, a marketing lead. You move into a small office with exposed brick and whiteboards covered in ideas. Your user base hits 1 million, then 5 million. You say things like, "We're changing how people connect." Growth becomes everything. You start studying metrics obsessively. Daily active users, session time, click-through rates. When growth slows, you panic. So you approve a feature that collects more user behavior data to improve ad targeting. Revenue jumps 40%. You celebrate. But deep down, you know you just crossed a line. You tell yourself, it's temporary, just until things stabilize. The CEO. At 27, your company goes public on the New York Stock Exchange. Asterisk, you ring the bell. Cameras flash. Your net worth instantly becomes $3 billion on paper. Headlines compare you to Mark Zuckerberg. You start believing them. You buy a penthouse. Overlooking Manhattan. A private jet, a yacht you barely use. Conferences invite you to speak about innovation and vision. Employees treat you like a visionary. But inside the company, pressure is rising. Growth must continue. Always. You approve algorithm tweaks that prioritize engagement over well-being. Controversial content spreads faster. Usage skyrockets. So does criticism. You tell your team to focus on expansion. You stop reading negative press. The numbers look good. That's what matters. The Empire Builder. By 32, your platform has over 1 billion users. Governments start paying attention. A whistleblower leaks documents showing you new harmful content was spreading and did little to stop it. You're called to testify before Congress. Asterisk under bright lights, you sip water and repeat carefully rehearsed lines. We take user safety seriously. Your stock drops 15% that day. Then it recovers. Because people can't stop using your product. That's the truth. You start acquiring competitors before they can threaten you. You hire former regulators as advisors. You donate to political campaigns. Not because you're political, because you're strategic. You're not just running a company anymore. You're shaping information flow across the planet. The global power broker. At 40 world leaders invite you to private meetings. You attend the World Economic Forum in Davos. Asterisk presidents ask for advice on digital policy. Elections are influenced by narratives spreading across your platform. You publicly claim neutrality. Privately, you know your algorithm can tilt public opinion in subtle ways. Your company's valuation approaches $1 trillion. You're one of the richest people alive. But security follows you everywhere. Your phone is encrypted. You assume it's monitored anyway. You sleep lightly. You trust few people. Power feels less like freedom and more like isolation. The investigations. Governments launch antitrust lawsuits. They accuse you of monopoly behavior. Europe fines you billions. States file cases against your company. Your stock drops 35% in a week. You lose $80 billion on paper. Investors panic. The board holds emergency meetings. Analysts question your leadership. You've built this empire. But empires don't belong to founders forever. They belong to shareholders now. The fall. A massive data breach exposes hundreds of millions of users. Internal emails leak showing you ignored warnings from engineers. Public outrage explodes. Advertisers pause spending. The board votes. You're removed as CEO. The headline reads, "Visionary founder ousted." You walk out of headquarters quietly. No speech, no drama. Just a security escort and a silent elevator ride. You're still worth billions. But it's no longer yours to control. The legacy years pass. You invest in startups, space exploration, artificial intelligence. Students study your company in business schools. Some call you a genius who connected billions. Others call you reckless for monetizing attention and personal data. Your name is permanently attached to a technological revolution. But your children barely remember the early days. You miss birthdays, anniversaries, vacations. You were busy building something that never stops demanding more. The truth, you started in a dorm room with nothing but an idea and stubborn belief. You ended as one of the most powerful individuals in modern history. You changed how humanity communicates. But along the way, you traded privacy for growth, ethics for scale, sleep for dominance. Money stopped being the goal long ago. Control became the goal. Influence became the addiction. And in the quiet moments when cameras are gone and headlines fade, you sometimes wonder if the 18-year-old kid coding in a dark dorm room would recognize the person you became. This is the tech empire. Not just innovation, not just success, power, pressure, and consequences.